Good morning, everyone. My name is Sharon Whiteman, and I partner with Dinah Hunter and Garry Knapp. And we love being here with you guys each and every weekend. Now, today, we're privileged to have our fearless leader, Sinead Pollock, General Manager of Mannatech Australasia, bringing with her her extensive experience in network marketing with a strong sales and business development focus. She's Irish, older than she used to be, and obsessed with her 3-year-old Dash and Gigi. Sinead is passionate about partnering with the field with a strategic vision for the future of Mannatech. Everyone's vision of success in partnership with Mannatech is unique, fluid, and always evolving. Sinead is dedicated to assisting us to execute each and every one of our vision. In this time with Sinead, we're going to be looking at what happened last year and looking at what's going forward and looking for a bright 2025. So Sinead, welcome and thank you.
That was a great introduction. Trust me to send the check your way. Good morning, everybody. And I hope the sun is shining in Sydney finally after weeks of wild weather. So I hope it's out where you are too. I'm going to say I was distracted in the chat because Karen said the guy wants to crack on, Sharon. And it kind of threw me for a loop. Sorry about that, but it did give me a giggle. So I know you're all sitting here expecting me to share what's happening for 2025. And I will say I am very excited for 2025. It's been a year and 2 weeks maybe since I rejoined the company back on January 8th of last year. It seems like it's gone in the blink of an eye, but I feel like we've accomplished so much. And when I say we, I don't mean us corporately, I mean us all together. We've seen people rank up, we've seen people re-rank, we've seen people's health get better, we've seen our community strengthen and our community bolstered. And I think there's been a coming together and a sharing that's been absolutely invaluable. But this morning's call comes with a note of change. And it's a very bittersweet moment for me to share this, but I'm probably just going to rip the Band-Aid off and say it. This morning is the very last Saturday morning call with Sharon, Diana, and Garry. The team have decided that it's time for them to step away and to focus on some other things. And with that, I thought it would be a perfect opportunity for us to turn the tables on them a little bit and to probe into their beautiful, wonderful minds of all the things they've learned during the years of doing these calls. You know, you heard me just say that our community has been bolstered. Well, these three legends, and it's such an Aussie word to use, legends, and there's no other fitting word, have impacted our community in, I think, so many ways that I think we'll still be understanding in years to come. They have created something so strong, so unique, so consistent, but inspiring, uplifting. And honestly, I don't believe there are enough words to convey the gratitude we have. The love, the gratitude, there are not enough words. So I did ask if they would mind, you know, opening their brains and their minds and their memories to us. And if you have anything you've always wanted to ask, I'm going to empower you to put it in the chat now. No topics are off. Well, maybe.
Oh,
she didn't warn us about that.
No, but you got to have a little fun, right? We've got to have a little fun.
Okay.
Right? And I think I said this before we started, it's their very last call. And yet again, Sharon has pulled out all the stops to make sure everything works professionally and without a hitch. She's literally down some lane way. She said, I drove for about 3 miles going 3 bars, 3 bars, 3 bars. And the fact that she's sitting in her car doing that says an awful lot about who she is and who you are as a group, as individuals, and as a team. So, and I might be a bit mean here, but, you know, bear with. Do you guys truly understand the difference you've made? Who wants to go first? Or I'll just, and don't think Garry, you're safe because you're on mute. Diana, you're a little bit stunned. I'm going to start with you.
Oh, okay. Well, look, I've always known we've added value. I've been committed to being part of the system, part of the team to do that. but it didn't really, and I'd even won the Giving Spirit Award for the contribution, but it didn't really touch down until late last year when you secretly did the acknowledgement process from the broader community. And when, you know, there's so many members of the broader community sharing the impact on them, it really sunk in. So I've always just seen it as, you know, all of us have skills and talents and things to contribute, you know, all part of that greater team. And this I saw as my role, my contribution, my chance to connect with the community every week. But I hadn't really sunk in till then. So I'm so grateful for all of you sharing that, because it didn't really touch down, and I've made a difference, you know, just by showing up. So thank you.
Sharon?
What she said.
Nice cop out, nice try.
Yeah, no, I mean, I couldn't have used better words for that. But I think on reflecting back to the beginning, like my highest values are contribution and integrity, I think, and community is necessary for me. I think that's, you know, I think that's sort of my family roots. I chose my family outside of my family, put it that way. And they always, my whole life, in whatever community I've been in, have been my lifeline and in my heart, really. And that's how I live my life. And I can remember when we first started, and George Howden caught me at corporate in Sydney outside the elevator and grilled me as to why I wanted to do this. And people were worried about cross-line and people taking, you know, they just don't do cross-line stuff, Sharon, he says. So apparently some of the presidential leadership and above had got together and expressed their concerns with George. And anyway, I felt like I was in some kind of police interview or something. And I thought, what the heck? They don't know me, you know, and I was completely out. And anyway, by the time he finished interviewing me, he decided that everything was okay, and we've gone from then. And so it, you know, and we've even, it doesn't matter what team or who, we're all on the same mission. I think Mannatech is a brilliant mission, and it's still a mission of mine. It was my decision, and it was really difficult. It still is.
I'm laughing. Somebody
But
said independence.
yeah, you know, as part of that drive in me to contribute, the Lyme charity is just too big right now, and I can't do both, and I have to finish that. So, you know, you might have seen on my Facebook that we've had, you know, this huge hike, and now we've got a Senate inquiry. I have to fly to Canberra next week, and I have to give it my all. And there's just, you know, if you spent 1 second in our inbox to see the suffering in Australia, you'd know why I'm having to make this choice. But Mannatech's in my heart, and I'm not going anywhere.
We wouldn't let you.
No, and I'll take each and every one of you with me, you know, the memories and stuff, and what we've done together. Yeah, I think that's it. You know, I'm not going anywhere. I just can't do everything.
And I'm going to speak for everybody on this call today. Whether I should or not, it's another thing, but I'll do it anyway. Everybody gets it. We know your heart. We know your passion. I think everybody watching and listening this morning, or watching the recording later, will understand why this decision's been made. And, you know, there's only 24 hours in every day, no matter how many more we try to make. And there's only so much energy we all have, no matter how good our products are. And we understand where your heart is. And I know in particular, this was not an easy decision for you. I'm very proud to say Sharon and I, through my entire tenure with Mannatech, going all the way back to 2009, have always had a really, really good relationship. I probably came in when you were already doing the calls. It never occurred to me that cross-lining would be an issue with you, but I think we got to know each other quite well early on, and I think it would never have even dawned on me. You know, I know from corporate point of view, you were always viewed with integrity and with honesty. So I think that still stands. I think when we look at this, obviously, community is one of the biggest things that's come out of this. You know, we've had a lot of learnings. You know, some of us could recite Dr. Nugent backwards, and we do. Community is the biggest thing. Garry, sometimes you just sit quietly in the wings, and you have the joy of editing, which I know is not easy. Drew swears at me every now and then when I'm trying to ask him to do something faster. But I think for you in that moment, you get to rewatch it so many more times than everybody else. And I'm wondering, when you do that, does that sense of community really increase time after time? You can just feel it.
Absolutely. And I don't think we've ever had a bad call. I don't think there's ever been one where we've gone, oh, that's awful, I'm not going to put that up, or every single one. And of course, they're cross line, they're teams. We don't even care what teams, we don't even ask, we don't, there's just nothing to do with that. And I think the reason for that, and the reason I got involved in Mannatech in the first place, from the very first Sydney meeting that I went to, was that the mission that we were on was far, far bigger than, you know, squabbling between teams. And I actually got introduced to network marketing by a company beginning with A. And if you cross-lined or talked to anyone in another team, you got your hands chopped, you know, not literally, but it didn't go down well. You just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I went, you know, when I was told that, I just went, rubbish. That's absolute rubbish. It was one of the things that really put me off it and put me off network marketing. And of course, with Mannatech, we've never seen that. We've had people putting their hands up to do calls from all different teams, from all different parts of the world, all with the same mission, because we're all bright enough to realize that, you know, what we've got in our hands is way bigger than just being a supplement company. You know, Ambratoes, when I first read the science and everything between about Ambratoes, it was all about, you know, wow, this is incredible. Everyone needs to know this. So, and honestly, absolutely honestly, Diana, Sharon, and I have never had an argument, have we? Not a single crossword between us in over 20 years of running this team. Now, I'm not saying there wasn't panic behind the scenes with the ducks. We're often the ducks, you know, that look cool and everything's good, but underneath, oh, Peter, going like this, especially from, you know, I know from a technical point of view and people not turning up, or you know, and that's generally been through technical issues, through communication issues, no fault of our own, but sometimes behind the scenes. But we've never had a cross word, and that's awesome. Because the three of us realize that we've got something very, very important to share, much bigger than a weight loss program, or you know,
Yeah.
to me, Ambratoes was the thing, glycans and that, and then they just expanded, because of course when I started, it was just Plus and Ambratoes, and I think maybe a couple of other things, but it wasn't much more than that. So yeah, when it comes to community, I don't think there's many network marketing companies out there that have got the community that Mannatech has.
I'm looking at the comments if you're not watching them. You know, people's Bev Walker, her fingers aren't quick enough to write all that is in my heart. That's a beautiful thing to hear.
Yeah.
And it makes me laugh, because I wonder if I got you all separately, would you all agree that there was never a crossword? I'm just kidding. When you have a man in the mix, Garry, I'm sure somebody swore somewhere. But I think what comes to my mind is, it's the old saying of that culture eats strategy for breakfast. And, you know, it is very much culture first. And Sharon, I remember you telling me many moons ago, when the late Mike Forrest was still with us, that you were at an event and you were sitting out in the lobby and you were having a moment and things weren't going the way you wanted to. And this this leader from another team, from another state, sat down with you and gave you his time. And I that story resonates with me, because I think it starts from the top, and how we treat each other, and we love on each other. And in some cases we don't love on each other, but respect is a big word in what we do, and I guarantee you there's a lot of respect as well as love in the chat for you. Thinking about this, and I've gave you a little bit of warning, so I don't want any I don't know, because I'm nosy, right? I'm very nosy, whether you've realized that or not. It's an Irish trait. It's born into us. All those years, top 3 favorite speakers, and it won't go outside this recording, and how many people will watch it later. Like favorite speakers. Diana.
Okay, this is a very unfair question.
I don't care.
This has been going for 25 years. But one thing I want to say is that we had the creme de la creme of speakers, both in regard to the educational and nutritional technologies and the business. The other thing I want to say, and Sharon is demonstrating this in present time, the show must go on no matter what. Sharon has showed up every single Saturday morning, except maybe a couple in the last year where we've had to be off-site. We have travelled down to Brisbane 2 hours earlier than event, so we can be there to have good signal on the audio when we used to be audio, which was only 8 years ago. Or we'd stay overnight so we could be up in the morning, so Sharon could do the audio and I could go and do something else for the event that was happening. So the show must go on. And even when the technological issues happened, we would wait and get started 10 or 20 minutes later sometimes for Dr. Nugent. So, and all the glory to Sharon for the speakers that we've had over the last 25 years. Now, favourites. Look, business-wise, Ray Robbins, like 2 times ago, you have to go back and watch it if you haven't. He was I don't know how to describe it, the perfect combination of heart and business education delivered in such a potent way, wasn't it, Sharon?
Yeah.
Sharon remembers. It was sit at the feet.
Spellbinding, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Amanda Luttrell, she's been a great presenter. And Ty Tribble has really contributed some really good stuff in the last few years. So I'm giving you some tips of where to go back. And of course, James and Naomi. Product-wise, I can't go past Dr. Nugent. I've just sat at the feet there too for years, from seminars to Saturday morning calls. I never get tired of it. But also want to acknowledge Karen Dennis, Robin Sully, who showed up and contributed. Liz Chamberlain did some great calls. Marsha Schaefer, you can't go past that. And then we got all the doctors from the audio archive. Amel Chuck, Wilkins, Dr. Bill, Dr. Reg. And I'm just going to give a tip because I don't think anyone will remember this, and this is a personal development call. Stephanie Burns on an audio many years ago, she talked about a goal achievement and her thesis on goal achievement. And she did this study, and what she discovered was it wasn't the people that had the goal that achieved it. It was the people that had the goal and took steps no matter what. It was something like that, wasn't it, Sharon?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is gold, those 2 audios that she did for us. And I really recommend you find them and listen to them and have it a part of your team training. And that's it, because I'm sure Sharon and
I'm laughing because I'm going, what did I ask? And you're the ultimate politician, Diana Hunter. I asked you for 3, but you've given me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 10 names.
I told you it was unfair.
Okay, I'm coming up. I've got
all right. Okay, my pen's ready, Garry.
Well, it depends whether you're looking at them from an editing point of view, because that's quite amusing. From an editing point of view, there's some shockers. I mean, when they come up, even though what they're saying is really great, and I don't mean to knock anyone, but that mainly South Africans they all do it, even anyone you hear on television, but they tend to say and sometimes I delete
Apologies
from
to
a
any South Africans watching.
we might, well, I can edit this out, can't I? So not a problem. But yeah, the ums and the ands, I mean, quite often I wish that I had a dustbin that I could put all the stuff that I cut out in a dustbin, or in a folder where I could go back. I could edit an hilarious call just from the bits that I've cut out. Do you know what I mean?
There's a
So
drinking game in there somewhere. A shot of superfruit for every
unfortunately,
time they say something.
yeah, unfortunately they're all gone. Once you delete them,
Yep.
they're gone forever. But I mean, obviously, Ray Robbins stands out for me every time because you hardly have to do any editing. He's just talking so much from the heart that it's another conversation basically. And I've never heard him trip over, he's always at 100 miles an hour, even though he's really getting, we're talking people that we knew 25 years ago, even longer. I mean, 1998, how long is it since then?
27 years this year.
27 years, yeah. Is when I first went to Manifest and first saw Ray Robbins. I'm not even
I
sure.
was 8.
Yeah.
Yes, eight.
So you were 8. There's the example. So we've watched a lot of people, including ourselves, and I have to say, we look amazing on the call. Do you agree? We haven't really aged that much, and no one has. Ray Robbins still running around like he was 25 years ago. It's incredible.
I heard
And
you had
still,
hair back then, Gary, no?
actually, I didn't. No.
Okay, you're deflecting. Top 3, come
So
on.
Mary Jo Hilliker.
Okay.
Always loved Mary Jo. She got everything, her background and what she'd done before Mannatech, it was way up there as a person, a successful person. And she turned her efforts to Mannatech and just applied the same things, and boom, she's just an awesome leader that's done so many things. As Dr. Nugent is unsurpassable, really, in terms of education. I don't think I've come across many educators in my life that have come even close. When you've got someone that's taught speaking that's got 6 degrees and it's pretty
9.
awesome. At
9.
9 degree, how many calls around the world are having the caliber of speakers that we've got on? Ray Robbins is one of the highest earning network marketing people. That testament to Mannatech paying him as they have me, every single month for 28, 29 years without fail, without having to follow up and chase anything and go, oh, you owe me this, or you should have paid me that. So you've got people of extreme caliber at both ends of the scale in both terms of health education, which was all been free. We've never had to pay Mannatech. We've never had to pay to hear the education that Dr. Nugent's got to deliver to us. So yeah, those 3 just got to stand out. I mean, I look down the list going back, all those years of the list, the names I could read out. You'd be there all day, just because like I said, I cannot recollect a call that we did that didn't deliver value.
Yeah.
To us as well, to Sharon, Diana, and I, not only everyone else. And then I get to listen to them every little sentence about 10 times. So it really gets implanted. It's good.
Random question. Help. Who is the Hawaiian shirt guy? Don Partridge, is that who you mean?
Oh,
Yes, okay, good. Because I've met Don Partridge in person with the Hawaiian shirt on in person. So yeah, I'm presuming. Okay, Sharon, can you keep it to 3?
No, because I don't listen to rules. I mean, I agree with Diana and Gary, but the only one I'd like to add I mean, I really would. Sinead, can you close your ears? Eddie,
You're
Garry,
good.
can you edit this out? Go back to the beginning when we used to be able to tell the truth about our technology. There's amazing Omelchak, Vicky Arcady, Norman Marvin, Paula Vetter. You know,
Yeah.
I went searching back because Sinead luckily gave me this question early. But and a compliant one and a recent one is Tate Schweitzer. That was just amazing, absolutely amazing. And you know, the thing that brings to me all the best ones together is their heart for our technology and the belief, right? I think the biggest thing that we have is, you know, and I think most of you know, and I'm sorry for new people that are here that don't know, but I've got a sort of a hyperimmune situation. And I reacted to some of the skincare recently. And they, as Mannatech is a quality company, asked me to report it. And then I had end up with this discussion with this woman in whatever they call it, some research area of the company and quality control. And she wanted me to do this whole thing. And I said, no, it's not anything wrong with the product. I said, I'm in a very fragile, hyperimmune. I said, you know, Mannatech saved my life 20 years. And it's given me a quality of life I couldn't have had. And I can't, unbelievable percent more than my peers that, you know, in the community I spoke about earlier who are dying in our inbox every day. I am alive and functional. And I says, it's not the product's fault, this technology. And then she comes back to me, she says, I've been here 28 years, and that's exactly why I'm here, is that our technology. And then she didn't want me to feel it. She got it. She got that it wasn't about the technology, that the skincare is perfect, and that we're just diverse as biological beings. So, I mean, that's the foundation for me, is the integrity of the, you know, we've had rocks and curves and a few disasters and a few pickups and you know, and everything that can happen in life when you're relating with people. But you know, and one of the things I wanted to say that even made it possible to make this decision is that I truly believe that Mannatech Australasia is in good hands now. Now, you know, I don't want to say anything about any previous GMs or corporate staff. I loved working with Jenny. I didn't have any trouble. And, you know, I was as shocked and grief stricken when I heard as well as anybody else. But I know what it felt like when I heard that Sinead was coming back. And I thought, excuse me. I thought, oh, for goodness sake, I've done something right. Garry, you better edit this out. Anyway.
Yes, you better.
I thought, oh, you know, like it's the best move they've made in a long time. And I think, again, I don't want to distract from Jenny. What a terrible time to have to take over the reins of a company, you know, like she just had unsurmountable odds to face. But we're in a different place now, and it's all ways forward and full speed ahead, basically. And I think, you know, I do believe that's the only reason I could have made this decision and look after myself for a while, is that, Sinead, I believe that, you know, you're the right person to lead. And I think Australasia is in great hands.
You're going to get a slap later.
Yeah. Well, while you were covering, I'm going to say here. I don't have anything to add, but except here.
Thank you.
I feel exactly the same. I feel, and I'm not going anywhere either. This is just I believe that it's just end of a cycle and the new beginning of a new cycle. The company's in good hands. I trust your vision, Sinead, and what you're doing. I really love everything you've been doing, and I'm not sure what's coming up, but I'm looking forward to being part of
it. No pressure.
Yeah. Also, can I just say, one of the reasons I'm kind of behind this decision is that I don't think in all the time, I haven't spoken to Sharon or Diane about this, but I don't think there's ever been a time when we felt that we could do this as safely as we can now. Not the reason I believe that is because Sinead, I think, will add. This is going to continue as a podcast. We're just, you know, we're not going away. It's going to continue kind of reshaped and not really. There's a few tweaks that I'm sure Sinead will tell you, but Sinead, I think, will be leading the call, and that's just going to be fantastic because she's got the interviewing well, I won't say expertise, just natural interviewing techniques that, say, Sharon has, and they're really difficult to repeat. So I just feel really confident about the way that we're going to pass this on. It's not just going to fall in a heap and be a waste of time. We've got all the archives, and we've got a fantastic team that I think, and I'm not doing down any of the others, we never fell out with anyone, any of the leadership over all those years. We never had any fallouts. But now Sinead has got the reins. So I'm very confident about that. And Andrew as well, because it's a laugh as well. That's so important to have that humour going forwards. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it, to be honest.
Bugger, anyway.
You didn't think that was going to happen, did
No,
you, Sinead?
no, and I do appreciate it, but I never feel like we do this alone. And I think, you know, there's a bit of a full circle here because you've been instrumental in creating and maintaining and looking after and nurturing our community. And for us to move in a different direction or move forward or take that next step, we need to do it as a community. So you never do this alone. You know, absolutely, you absolutely never do this alone. And I think that is the point. You know, we all love our amber toes and would never be without it, right? But the unseen joy and passion and hero of what we do is really community. And everybody plays a part in that. And sometimes, you know, you hear people and they think, oh, I don't make a difference. Well, you do every single day. And when you turn up every single day, just by turning up, it makes a difference. So I think we kind of need to hold on to that. I'm not going to be distracted by the questions I have in front of me because there are loads of other things. I said I'm nosy. And we're going to be succinct here now. And I mean all of you, because and I knew, my husband said, how long do you think your call will be? And I said, how long is a piece of string? You've heard so many speakers over the years. And obviously I didn't make the favorites list, so I know I'm not going to be quoted here. Biggest takeaway, what is the thing that you've heard leaders say over and over again and you kind of think that is a message you can hang your hat on, that will resonate with everybody, that makes a difference? What is one thing? Don't all jump at once.
Well, I'm not going to say this is from a particular person, but I think the key thing for success in partnering with Mannatech, no matter what your particular passion is a combination of skill development, passion, and persistence. Like what Diana said previously, do it anyway. What Stephanie Burns says, you know, have the goal, but it's consistent action that's about goal achievement. Do it whether you feel like it or not.
Garry, your hand was up really quick.
The one thing you're asking for me is the only way to fail in this business model is to quit. And one of the things in the old days that you really used to get me was when people were jumping around and moving to another company. And, you know, not one of them failed. All those companies failed. And they took huge teams with them back then and were jumping around and every new shiny thing and everything. And I've always believed the technology was bigger than all that. And the only way you could fail was to quit. Quit believing in it, quit telling people about it, quit.
It's funny you say that, Garry. I have a memory of you at my first manifest, and that was it 2014? It was a 20-year anniversary, or yeah, 24, maybe it was 2016. My first manifest. And somebody skipped a session and went to a baseball game. And you were aghast. I can see you standing there saying to me, why would you come all the way here and not go to the session? Why would they go to? You just couldn't understand how somebody committed to the company and the mission and everything, could choose a baseball game, and I can still hear your voice to this day going, what is wrong with people?
Yeah, well, I still say that every day, 10 times a day. What is wrong with people?
But you know, it plays a different role in everybody's life, is the way I kind of look at it. But I can still hear your voice in my head when I think of that. Diana, what about you?
Oh, it's hard to nail it down, but given you've asked me, I will. But probably being an active member of the team, like participating, showing up, and as Sharon said, learning skill development. Because I remember Big Al Schreider saying, you know, he's such a funny guy in his education. You know, you can have people say you need confidence. Well, confidence isn't enough. You need your why. Well, why is great, but it's not enough. You've got to have the skills. You've got to have the conversation skills to be able to talk, or lean on your team to help you with that.
Yeah.
Right? So mentorship, or however you want to see team.
Great educator, Big Al. Great way of delivering a message. You felt like you were in a comedy show, but you came out having learned something.
Yeah.
I loved it. And such a nice man, just absolutely behind the scenes, such an incredible man in sharing. And for the high profile that he is, you know, you expect a little bit of diva demands behind the scenes. None. Nothing. Like, it was so cool.
Yeah, well, interesting.
Well, we're laughing, and you know, in all the years there must have been some mishaps. There must have been, as you said, the show always went on behind the scenes. And for me, I think of, and I'll out mine first. When we would do road shows and we would have international speakers, we would always try and fit the speaker on the Saturday morning call. And I remember one particular Saturday morning in Singapore, and I'd confirmed with the speaker that was on tour with me, and you're ready, you're good, you have everything for the morning, do you need anything? No, I'm all good. And at like 5 minutes to, I logged into the call, and I hear Diana saying, speaker's not here yet. Sharon's just reaching out to Sinead, who's traveling with, yes, JP Coster, we're talking about you. So I'm ringing and I'm dialing everything, nothing. And I'm down at front desk going, do you know what number he's in? And they'll let me know. And I'm up and I'm banging on the door and I'm stressing and I'm texting Sharon. I'm going, I don't know where he is. He got the time wrong. He got confused by time difference. He's up on the executive lounge, watching the view out the window, drinking his coffee without a care in the world. I think every method I used to try and communicate with him, Sharon tried one more and she got an answer. And I'm banging on his door still going, maybe he's just asleep. And he comes out of the elevator as cool as a breeze. And I'm going, I'm going to kill you. Walked in the door, and you know, like I say, he's a younger guy and he doesn't travel as neatly as I do, let me just say that. Goes, where's your computer? Wandering around, he's going, yeah, and he's logging on. I'm going, hurry up. So I'm stressing, I'm killing him. And then he gets on board like nothing happened. He makes his apologies and off he goes. And it's amazing. I look at it from the other way around too, is this incredible leader, this young guy, this passionate guy that can deliver such a beautiful message. And I've been very inspired by JP throughout my travels with him, and just delivers. And I'm sitting there because it's humid, it's Singapore, going, oh my God. And he looks at me at one point and he kind of winks and he said, you're good, you go back to bed. So I go back to my room, I lie on the bed and I listen to the call. But I was thinking, you know, they look so together in the business world, and I'm like, literally the hair's barely brushed, you know, they're a little bit like that going, where is he? And so there must have been others when these things happened. So funny stories, we want to hear them. We want to know that not everybody's perfect.
My favorite one is the most recent one, which was Ray Robbins. Like I want to listen to that again and again. I was laughing so hard, like, and that's what I said about this to Sinead when we started, is that he called that Murphy spends a lot of time in his life straight serious, right, Murphy? And of course talking about Murphy's Law, right? And then like about 25 things happened in the first 10 minutes of trying to get him on there, and his wife was on. I was on the phone to him. They couldn't get him on, and they tried, I don't know how many devices. We were talking about all these things, and he kept talking. And I think I even put what I put him on speaker, and he could hear him through the Zoom, but he actually wasn't there yet. It was, and I luckily I didn't have to go to the bathroom. I was laughing so hard. And he's just classic. He didn't lose a beat. And it
No.
wasn't, no, it was so professional. I want to
Yeah.
listen to it again soon.
Yeah.
It was just perfect. That's my favorite, all without a doubt.
Diana?
That was super funny. It was one of my favorites, you know, because, and it happened, part of that's happened because we've got these incredible leaders that have been around for however decades, but they're not technologically savvy. So there was that one. But also Dr. Nugent, when we first went to camera, he didn't want to be on camera.
No.
Sharon was sitting there like a goldfish. Oh, he's doing this audio.
He didn't want camera at all. No, I remember.
Yeah, no. I think Al Bala might have tapped him on the shoulder, mate. You got to go on camera. And now he's an old hand at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the other, I mean, it's funny for me. I don't know about the others, but because when we're on audio, I used to sit there in my pajamas. I didn't have to get dressed up, put makeup on, nothing. Now, right, every Saturday morning, you've got to. So today, in tradition, I left my pajama pants on. So I can be half-half.
Well, I got no trousers on.
Oh,
I was lying.
That would have been an edit out there, Garry.
Yeah. The technological delays I did not find funny.
No.
I found them stressful because I'd be filling in the blanks until Sharon came back.
What can I say now? Oh, look, somebody else came in. Welcome.
Oh, dear.
And then,
Yeah.
Garry, you have to edit up all these little behind the scenes things and put it in for us. Because probably a lot of these issues are hidden now because of Gary's magic.
Well, I mean, most of it, like you say, I mean, what the technology, the way it's changed. When I started doing the calls, and we kind of decided, because back then we didn't have Zoom recording it for us. So that's when we decided, okay, I'll do the technical side. I'll make sure they get recorded, and I'll edit them and all that sort of thing. But sometimes because of the technology, I'd have a pile of books here with a microphone on there and the telephone here, holding it up with some balance. It's balanced on something precariously, and I'm trying to get that to work at the same time as that. You know, the technology has just advanced so much, and obviously being able to see each other is great, but we're running around getting ready every week,
from the waist up.
weekend instead of doing it in bed or whatever. But yeah, it really is tech panic sometimes. Quite often, you're talking about it once there, Sinead, but I can tell you there's quite often, and Sharon often bears the brunt of it at the front end, obviously, with getting the speakers, but then there's always the tech issues going on behind.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember doing the conference calls. We would do our leadership call from the boardroom with the thing called a polycom in the middle, and we would dial into Archidin. And it was actually Jeff Mullum introduced us to Zoom before Zoom was really big. And I'll be honest, I resisted. No, we can't. It's too hard. Oh my gosh. And I always remember the first Zoom call, myself, Jeff, and if you remember, Stephen, you managed this call. I was exhausted after it. I kind of felt you needed at least 4 people to manage the call and to do the call effectively. And we now do them so effortlessly, really. You click on a Zoom link, you know where the camera is, you know where all the buttons are. But I remember in that time, just thinking, we can't use this. Now, to be fair, we all wish we had Zoom shares after the pandemic, but you know, who knew? But it has become such a big part of our lives. And I think especially when we've not been able to be together in the way we were, being able to see faces. And some of you know, on the Tuesday Business Booster, I'm always big into turning on the cameras. It's so good for a speaker to be able to see who they're talking to. And I know we do these in a webinars because for very different reasons. But when we do those community calls, like the Tuesday Business Booster, it is nice to see faces. It is nice to see that somebody's actually listening and, you know, not playing video games at the same time or watching whatever's on the TV. And no matter who the speaker is, it does make a difference to see somebody smiling back at you. So I think it's always and being a great add-on. And I'm conscious of everybody's time. I do know everybody's sitting there now going, what's going to happen? And in the first instance of this conversation, when I first spoke to Sharon and then we spoke with Diana and Garry, I'm going to be very honest, and the point of me thought, do we have a plan? And I really felt we needed to think about what we wanted to do. I certainly didn't want to let our Saturday mornings together go, but I was also very aware of the challenges, you know, on a Monday or Tuesday morning, and Sharon will say, I don't have a speaker. And we go around every avenue, and I believe it's hard. I know it's hard. I don't believe it's hard. I know it's been very hard. So I listened to a few people, like, you know, I get a lot of, and my word of 2024, and it will continue into 2025. My word really is inspiration. And Karen Dennis, thank you. We don't motivate people, we inspire people. And something Garry said inspired me, something somebody else said inspired me. And so our Dr. Nugent calls will continue on the first Saturday of the month, as was planned within the usual schedule. So our health, wellness, and Dr. Nugent will. The date may deviate, you know, the 4th of July, like that gets in the way. So we will continue. So we will not continue with the weekly call, just because I know the demands of speakers is really, really hard. So we will continue to do 2 calls a month. One will be Dr. Nugent product based and, you know, inspired again. Maybe if there's a week or not a week, if there's a month that Dr. Nugent's not available or he's triple booked, which does happen. I know we all know he loves Australia the best, but we've got to be fair for the other markets for some strange reason. I don't really understand it. It should just all be about us. I may go talk to Tate and see, you know, if we can get him on again, because again, the feedback on Tate has been really, really good. So that's our product side of it taken care of, I think, and that's our fix. And we will continue to record them and edit them and make sure that they're available to you. I don't know we'll be as fast as Garry, but we will do our very best. And inspired by what people are telling me we need, and I think it does come down to leadership and leadership skills and learning from the best. So we've created what we're calling the Lead, Laugh, Love podcast. And the idea is that we inspire leaders to lead, laugh, and love every step of the way. And I've got the first speaker lined up. I emailed somebody and I literally got an instant response, which Sharon, we know is rare sometimes. So I jumped on it. And it's very apt considering all the feedback. I decided to choose this person, A, because I'd met them in person recently, and B, I feel like it's a new beginning. And when I look at a new beginning, I thought we'd go back to the very great beginning. And our first speaker will be the wonderful, the irrepressible Mr. Ray Robbins. I reached out. I told him we were making some changes, and you know, I believe every change brings about an opportunity. We don't always like change. You know, there's some of you sitting there going, bloody Sharon, bloody Diana, bloody Garry. I don't like change, but we embrace it. We look for new opportunities. We look for something that we'll do a little bit different, or we won't do a bit different. But again, Garry, inspired by you, I want to just not sit there and say, here, talk about this. I want to delve. I want to probe. I want to ask questions. To be fair, because there are so many nuggets within the minds of our incredible leaders around this globe that I think we can all learn from. So we will put it together in a schedule. I have a calendar kind of built out. Poppy on our team has been away. She's back. She's one of our first things will be, let's put it together in a calendar. We'll put one calendar together where you'll see the Saturday calls and the Tuesday business boosters. So they're in one. And we will make sure that you have that. So as much of it's an end of an era, I feel we're stepping into something else. We're going to progress with this for at least 6 to 12 months. And if we're in a place where we feel we can get more speakers and we can do it more frequently, we will definitely do that. It was never going to be let go. I think we've created something now. We've created a really good forum. And I think it's just time to take it to the next step. And I think, you know, a lot of what we're hearing, and when you see what's coming up in the rest of the year, and you've heard me talk about Elevate, our leadership development weekend incentive that we're doing, you know, we love the products. We know so much. We have so many useful tools about why they're good and what they do at our fingertips. And Diana, you captured it. It is about the skills and being comfortable to go out and talk to somebody, and not just talk to somebody as a customer, talk to somebody as a potential business builder and help them get started on their journey as part of your journey. And I think there's so much to look forward to. So that's where we're going. I'm excited by it. I think it'll be wonderful for Diana and Garry and Sharon to lie in bed, looking whatever way they like, trousers on preferably, Garry, and sit back and enjoy, because we're always mindful. When Karen Dennis, you gave us so much in 2024, all those comp-plan trainings. It's nice to sit back and be a participant and absorb it, rather than always being the one giving. And we know there are so many giving hearts here, and some of you will be tapped for these calls at some point. I'm not gloating here, Sharon, but I actually have March lined up too, because I felt I was on a roll after Ray Robbins. So I asked somebody, and I kind of went around the back door and I got a yes. And I kind of went, huh? I'm not going to jinx myself, because I could be pulling my hair out for April, because I know it's tough, right? But I think we work with what we have, and there is so much good to work with. So we're still here. We're still moving forward. I think we will have an incredible 2025. We had an incredible 2024. I've said on many calls, we forecast, we budget for where we think we're going to end up from a sales perspective. We smashed it by 9%, which is no mean feat. And I know everybody was a little bit, okay. We made a difference in Bangkok. They saw us, Landon saw us, he felt the energy, he felt the joy. And again, you might want to edit this out in case somebody else market says it. Kevin Robbins told me afterwards that Ray's favorite part of being in Thailand was hanging out with the Aussies. He came and had breakfast with us, and then he said to me, "Can I come on the bus with you guys to the event?" And we said, "Sure." He reminded us, and for me in particular, of the importance of just telling a story. And if you're sitting out there right now and you think, I don't have a story, excuse the expression, but bite me, we all have a story. And we've gotten out of the habit of telling it. Our stories matter. We are relatable. Somebody wants to hear what we have to say. And sometimes it feels like you're yelling into a cave and all you hear is your own echo. I was talking to a leader from another country the other day, and she was telling me when she goes on an incentive, she sends postcards out to people. And it's kind of, oh my gosh, we wish you were here. You would have loved it. It's a great thing for you to be part of, blah, blah, blah. And after she had somebody go on the last incentive with her, and the person said, 8 years ago, I got a postcard from you. And it made a difference. And so she said, sometimes I felt I was in vain. I was just sending out these postcards. And were they doing anything? Somebody listens. All right. When you open your mouth, somebody listens. And I think Ray Robbins, and I know he makes it look easy. And we're all sitting there going, I can never be like him. But you don't have to be. You don't have to be like Ray Robbins. Somebody out there, we're all going, we want to be Ray Robbins. Ray Robbins set out to be Ray Robbins and nobody else. And I think we hold on to that. So I think I'm excited for where we're going and for what's there for us. And I think as much as, there's going to be some new stuff come along, fundamentally, our wonderful products and our wonderful hearts and our whys and our skill set is what's going to bring us forward. So they're the things that don't change. How we make people feel, how we make people feel matters. So we're coming to the top of the hour. I want final words from each of you. This is not an end. This is not a goodbye. This is see you on the other side. Who wants to go first? Garry?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to do this, so here we go with a poem. For 20 years I've trimmed the air, erms and coughs I did repair. With glitches gone and tech in check, I made each call a polished trek. Now it's time to say goodbye to all our listeners far and nigh. Thanks for lending me your ear as I sign off with a cheer. So here's to you, our faithful crowd. You made us proud, you cheered us loud. And as we retire, we say with cheer, thank you all for lending an ear.
Wow.
That's
awesome, Garry.
I wrote that. I wrote
Oh,
that with a bit of help from ChatGPT.
No, you wrote
I'm
it
going to
all
edit
yourself.
that out because I can.
Can you copy and paste that into the Mannatech Australasia business community group, please? I'll approve
Yeah.
it as opposed to,
Well,
please share that.
I haven't had a chance to read the chat either. Will you be able to you'll
Yeah, I'll
be
get that.
saving that,
Yeah.
will
I'll
you,
get that.
Sharon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
please,
yeah,
please.
what else can I say? Thank you, and it's been a pleasure. And to Diana and Sharon, a big hug to you guys, and thank you for being such great people to work with. Been a pleasure.
Diana?
I love you, Garry. Thank you. That was so beautifully done. Yeah, it's been absolute pleasure and privilege to join with all of you each Saturday morning. Thanks for joining us. And one of the things I'd like to say, in thinking about this call, I went back and had a look at archive to see what was there. And one of the calls that I sat and watched was the 18-minute story shared by Dr. Bill McAnally of how Amber Toast started. And I recommend you go back and watch it. It's the story of how he came, you know, the synchronicity and the serendipity and that happened to lead him to discover the active component in aloe. But then it finishes with him, how he joined with Sam Castor and Ray Robbins. They were the first three that brought that mission to the world. And he said, we knew we had a mission. It wasn't just about the sales or the technology. We had a mission to fulfill. And I still, you know, Ray still lives that mission now, right? He's driven by the mission. And so I guess, you know, we're on the community is prime and we're on a mission together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharon, I know your battery's low, but we're going to,
I've
and if
got,
it's the
I've got
last
a
word,
warning.
it's kind of a bit apt.
My Mac is saying your Mac will sleep soon unless plugged into a PowerPoint.
Stick it
So
into your ear, you'll be fine.
God bless you all. It's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege to be with you every Saturday. It is, I've said that every week for however long, and it's true for me. And yeah, I'll fully participate going forward. And I love each and every one of you. Thank you.
And so there we are. So Garry, we're going to ask you to post your poem in the group. And I'm going to ask you that when Garry posts the poem, that you go and share your love in the comments, because honestly, it's a moment that stays in time. Dr. Nugent says the internet's like a toilet that doesn't flush, so it'll stay there for eternity as far as I'm concerned. I know.
Even for good things.
I'm telling you. He's amazing. So I think I can honestly say, from our hearts to yours, we are thankful, we are grateful, our hearts are full, our brains are full, our mind is overflowing. You three have created something I don't think either of you, any of you imagined when you started. It is a testament to who you are, who you continue to be, and all that you've brought to us. We are better because of you. And we will continue to do your work proud, and I commit to that. So everybody have a wonderful day. I know it's not the call you're expecting, but you know, time marches on. And you know, Garry, I wasn't 8 when we started, just saying that. I think you weren't sure, but I wasn't. I wish I was, but I wasn't. Time marches on and takes us with us. We're thankful for the products that keep us young on the inside and the Korean beauty that keeps us young on the outside. So have a wonderful long weekend, everybody. Enjoy it with your friends, your family, and your loved ones. And like I said, we will see you on the other side. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Love you all. Thank
Love
you.
you all. Yes.
Thank you.